How many times have you truly felt like you're living the peak human experience? Like you're playing as a video game character with all of your stats maxed out. Now, life is a game. It is serious and it's real, but there is a very game-like quality to this thing that we call life. And you must recognize this, because when you understand that the things we do, the moves we make, and the skills that we learn allow us to do more and see more and live more and experience more of this game, and they allow you to play the game better. Realize that everything is a learnable skill, and by unlocking new information and unlocking new skill sets, you reach and unlock new levels to the game. Every time you reach a new level, you get to adopt new understandings, new mindsets, new perspectives, and new approaches towards the game. Just like in a video game, the more you play, the better you get, the more things you get to do. However, playing life is very different to playing a video game, because to get things in a video game, it can take a few hours, but to upgrade your character in real life, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of consistency, a lot of obsession. And the truth is, although most people want that, nearly nobody is willing to put in the focused time and effort required in order to achieve it. Nearly everybody knows what it takes to become successful, but because it can be difficult, people distract themselves with pleasure. Things like TV, things like video games, and things like lust. So how can we begin to not only understand the game that we are playing, but how can we begin to actually upgrade our character and win the game that we're playing? Well, that is exactly what I am here to teach you how to do. To not only understand the game itself, but to understand how you can level up your character, how you can level up in the game, and how you can actually start to win. Now, we are clearly playing in a rigged system, and this is the most obvious to see in the traditional education system. Obviously, there is programmers to this game, and this is very easy to see in the conventional path to success, which has already been programmed into the majority of people. Most people believe the conventional path to success is how you play the game. Doing well in school, going to university, getting a good degree, getting a good job, and then dying. However, due to us all now having access to the most information that we've ever had access to, you begin to see cracks in the system, because people start to do their own things. They start to self-educate, they start to build their own currencies, and this is happening too quickly for the programmers to patch it up. The traditional education curriculum cannot keep up with the creator economy and the new online education industry. People are realizing that they can actually achieve new levels of the game simply by playing the game in a different way. This is where you start to distinguish between NPCs and real players. Yes, NPCs are actually real. People who are actively seeking new info and educating themselves and finding new understandings of the game itself and how to play the game are people who are actually playing the game and actually developing themselves. Then you have people who trust everything that they hear, trust everything that they get from the system, and trust the traditional path to success that has been programmed into them. The people who simply submit to someone else and simply just exist and don't learn new skills, don't unlock new levels, and don't gain new information are simply non-player characters. They simply just do what they are told and follow the predetermined path that has been set out for them, and they have forgotten. The thing is, with this video game, like an open world video game, is there is infinite paths to success. And there is no one player's path that is the same as another's. There are endless skills that you can learn and endless paths that you can take. So to break down how you can best play this video game, let's talk about how exactly you can level up. Like I said before, you need to understand that everything is a learnable skill. Think about all the different aspects of your character that you can level up. Physical, mental, spiritual, then things like skills like your articulation, your communication, your network. These are all things that you can develop and increase with time. So let me break this down for you in the most consumable way. These are all examples of different stats that you can actually level up in real life. And the more you level up each aspect, the better quality of life that you will have. So let's break down exactly how you can level each one of these up and what the result of that will be. Strength is simple. You just need to self-educate on how you can become stronger. Do your research and you will find out that you need to eat a certain way and you need to train a certain way. And if you do those things over a certain amount of time consistently, you will get stronger and you will level up your character. The result of that will be you being more confident, you getting respect more, and you'll be able to move through life with more confidence and competence than ever before. And this is why you want to level up your stats. Speech is simple once again. You simply just self-educate on how people get good at speaking. You'll learn that by speaking more, by reviewing yourself speaking, by getting into sales jobs, by learning how to communicate effectively, persuade, by selling, that you can actually improve your speech, which once again will improve your confidence, your competence, your influence, and the quality of your life as you move through it. Combat, for example, it's very simple again. You simply just go to a fight gym, and if you go for a consistent amount of time and you train hard, you will get more competent in your own skin. And this is not a difficult concept to grasp. You can literally learn anything to make your character a better character. Every stat can be upgraded, from looks to mindset to physicality, all of it. Attention, you just post content, get really good at it, gain more attention over time, and this will give you more influence. The point being is that everything is a learnable skill. And the beauty of life is that you get to build your ideal character, and then you get to become that by learning the skills and doing the necessary input required for you to become that character. So then the question becomes, what type of character do you want to be? Because all of the actions and all of the moves that you are making are based off this. You know how in video games you have that part at the beginning where you get to create your character, what he looks like, what hair he has, and all these different things? I like to do this in real life. Now, you would have heard me talk about vision before. So I want you to create your character, the exact version of yourself that you want to be. This is important. In your mind, construct a new version of yourself. A version that does everything that he is meant to do regardless of how he feels. You actually need to write this down and internalize it as much as you can, because you're going to anchor yourself to this on a daily basis. And you need to become crystal clear as you do this. What are the habits of this character? What does he spend his time doing? Where does he live? What does he look like? How does he interact with people, and how does he interact with the world? His traits, everything. For example, it could look something like this. He's 82 kilos lean. He spends 2 hours a day in the fight gym. He lives in a villa in Spain. He's jacked. He's got a bad wife and 12 kids. He's a multi-millionaire, so on and so on. And don't stop writing until you literally cannot think of anything else. And don't stop writing until you can see this person in your head very clearly. Now, you might be wondering, why are we doing all this? And the truth is, what you have done now by the end of this video, assuming that you paused it and you did that task, what you've really done is created the best version of yourself in your mind. You have created your full potential. Once you can see this insanely clear, what you now have is another version of yourself that you can basically interact with on a daily basis. There's a version of yourself now that lives in your mind that's the fullest potential of yourself. And yes, you can compete with that person, and as you compete with that person, you'll in turn become that person. But what I like to do is to adopt the identity of this person now. So this person, you painted them clearly, you can kind of understand what their identity is, right? Because it is just a better version of you. So instead of having the I'm a loser, I'm broke, I'm this, I'm that identity, you're going to adopt the identity of the person who is the fullest potential, and you know how they think, and you know how they feel, and you know what their life looks like. Adopt that identity now, and in turn, you become your fullest potential. Why are we doing this? We are doing this because in order for you to self-actualize and actually become the best version of yourself, you need to actually shed away everything that makes you you. If you're not currently the version of yourself that you want to be, you need to be willing to get rid of everything that makes you the current version of yourself in order to become a new version. And obviously, you're not just going to adopt this identity and then all of a sudden you're a multi-millionaire with 12 kids doing whatever the fuck you want. But when you adopt the identity of that first, you begin to move through life and navigate through this game that we are playing as that character, and in turn you get focused, you get obsessed, and you act like the person you need to be. Then you become the person that you need to be, and it manifests itself in the physical world. You become emotionally invested and excited about this new version of yourself, and you begin to feel the emotions of that person, and you begin to rewire your brain to be that person. So this is all big and broad, and you might be thinking, okay, this is cool information, but what do I actually do with it? How do I actually apply this to my life? So I'm going to loop back to what I previously said about everything being a learnable skill. You now know who you are. Now you just need to break this down into smaller steps that you can take day by day. So what skills, what daily actions and habits did that person have? If your character in your head is 80 kilos lean, you can break that down into a daily food intake and a daily training regimen. Maybe to get that physique, you need to eat a certain diet, and you need to eat a certain amount of meals a day, and you need to train a certain amount of times a day. If he is rich, if he's well spoken and articulate, maybe he started in a sales job. This could be broken down into a daily action of getting a sales job and then setting yourself a certain amount of KPIs and closes within that sales job. If he can fight, that can be broken down into a daily action of going to the fight gym every day. If he lives in a villa in Spain, you can break that down into how much a villa in Spain costs and how much money you need to be making to afford that, and then you can break that down into an income and a daily cash collected amount. You can break down everything into a very small daily consumable action, and then you can take action and actually reach that, and through that you will eventually become the person you want to be. Now, not everything is this easy, so let's talk about how you can literally gain power points by doing things that are risky, things that are out of your comfort zone, and taking risks and doing things that give you resistance literally power you up. When you are skydiving, for example, there's nothing that feels more wrong than throwing yourself out of a plane that's 500,000 miles in the air or whatever it is. But once you're out, it's one of the most crazy experiences ever, right? And it's one of the most beautiful things you can do. There is all the resistance there to not do it, but once you overcome that, then you get to enjoy the beauty of that, and you get less fearful every time that you do it. You actually absorb the energy from the resistance. So you do something that's got all this resistance. Once you overcome that, now you gain that energy, you gain that power. The more you do, the more you absorb the resistance, the less resistance you face as you move through life. Another example is approaching 5'1" Latina baddies, or just approaching women in general. The first time you move to a girl, it can come with resistance, it kind of feels wrong. But after you do it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times, and you face rejection and you no longer care, then all of a sudden there's no more resistance to approaching women. So imagine yourself having a power bar, and you can simply fill that up by doing uncomfortable things. This gamifies the uncomfortable things in life and keeps the reward of doing those things in your mind, which makes you more inclined to do uncomfortable things, which makes your life better and makes you more powerful as an individual. If you can understand all the things that I've taught you and just not mentally masturbate over them, but actually implement them into your life and attack this daily, you will realize that yes, video games are fun. Doing pleasurable stuff feels good in the moment. Getting instant gratification from things like scrolling, eating shit food, and so on. All of this pales in comparison to the rewards you get from achieving real life goals, actually fulfilling your mission and your purpose, and leveling up your character. There is no better feeling than when you get in that upward spiral. Things start to go your way as you relentlessly attack your mission and your God-given purpose. No amount of money can buy that feeling of when you get a new idea and you rush to the computer to write it down. That rush when you're so locked in and so passionate about what you're doing. You can tap into this constant flow of energy when you're actually aligned with your purpose. And I hope this video helps you get there. Love.